Hello and welcome to BNI Heartland Football Week 10 highlights. I'm your host, Ray Hughes.
And I'm your host, Brandon Suba.
Brandon, are you ready for football this week?
You know, I've digested all the food I ate on Thanksgiving. I'm super excited to be back in the studio with you, Ray. So let's line up with the Globetrotters and hit the hardwood floor with our first conference of building relationships. This was Rapid Referrals in Rapid City, South Dakota versus Business in Motion in Gillette, Wyoming. Well, Rapid Referrals had perfect attendance, which is always a great way to set a good base for your points, but they also included a visitor into their meeting, resulting in 10 points.
Business in Motion got all suited up and ready to play, but unfortunately didn't find any points to put up on the board, so the final in this one is Rapid Referrals 10, Business in Motion 0.
All right, well, let's see who gets the jump ball in this next conference of Givers Gain. This was Rushmore in Rapid City, South Dakota versus Multiplier Profits in Omaha, Nebraska. Well, Rushmore put up one heck of a fight with 2 visitors, but then inducting the new member, resulting in 14 points.
Multiplier Profits out of Omaha, very proud of the scores they've been able to post lately, putting up some big numbers, and they did not disappoint this week. They had 1 visitor for their own chapter, referred 2 visitors to other chapters, all those resulting in field goals. Plus, they had 2 new members, which is a touchdown and a 2-point conversion there, leading to a grand total of Multiplier Profits 25, Rushmore 14.
Well, after that slam dunk, let's check out lifelong learning. This was Cloud Peak Business in Sheridan, Wyoming versus Referrals in Action in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Well, Cloud Peak had everybody at the meeting. It was a nice full room, kind of in the honor of Thanksgiving, resulting in 7 points.
Referrals in Action found a visitor to bring. They showed up. There's a field goal for 3 points. Unfortunately, not enough people to be in the seats for them for perfect attendance. So the final on this one is Cloud Peak Business 7, Referrals in Action 3.
All right, well, let's get off the bench. Check out our next conference of tradition plus innovation. This was Breakfast Club in Lincoln, Nebraska versus Effective Connections in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Well, we've talked about Breakfast Club before and how much they love their breakfast, but they brought a visitor to the meeting, resulting in 3 points.
Effective Connections also found a visitor to bring along. There's their 3 points, plus one of those people that visited before signed up, became a new member. That gives them the touchdown and 2-point conversion to win. Final on this one is Effective Connections 11, Breakfast Club 3.
You know, Ray, I was thinking about maybe inviting somebody at the announcing table here.
I would welcome anybody else at this table right about now, Brandon.
All right, well, let's lay up to the last conference of positive attitude. This was Big O Business Network in Omaha, Nebraska versus Omaha Lunch in Omaha, Nebraska. That's a lot of Omahas, Ray.
And I do have some breaking news out of Omaha for you, Brandon. The Omaha Lunch Group now has a name. They are the Connections Crew. So that's how I'll be referring to them going on.
Well, CCC. Congratulations, Connection Crew. Well, Bobbin jumped on the bus. They went to the game. They gave it all their heart and soul, but unfortunately, they were not able to put anything on the board, resulting in 0 points.
The Connections Crew brought in 2 people, so those visitors are field goals each there. That gives them 6 points and enough to win in this case. So, final on this one is Connections Crew 6, Big O Business Network 0. Taking a look at some of the other highlights from around our BNI Heartland territory. For the high scores this week, Multiplier Profits, we talked about their ability to post some high scores. They were the high score of the week with 25, but I'd like to give an honorable mention to Kearney Lunch, who put up 23 in their effort this week. Brandon, how did we do for perfect attendance?
Well, Ray, what week are we in?
Week 10.
And so guess how many chapters had perfect attendance?
Well, I asked you because I wanted to know.
All right, well, it is 10. 10 chapters had perfect attendance, not our highest, but not the lowest.
As we get into our final week of BNI Heartland football, let's take a look at our conference leaders right now. Givers Gain Conference, Multiplier Profits broke out of the tie. They are now on top all alone, 7-1-1. In the 3-way tie is no longer a 3-way tie in the Building Relationships Conference. It's Circles of Influence in Casper leading there 5-2-2. In the Lifelong Learning Conference, we've got Cloud Peak in Sheridan leading at 7-1-1. Had the lead most of the season there. In our Traditions Plus Innovations Conference, it's the County 4 Connectors in Rock Springs in front with an 8-2 record, but they take on the second place team, paying it forward next week. The winner of that will take the conference. Finally, in our Positive Attitude Conference, their Kearney Lunch core group breaks the tie, taking the lead from Omaha there. They are now 7-1-1 and in control of their fate going into the last week. Still a lot of these conferences up for grabs as we go into the final week, so make sure you invite those people, get them to show up, bring everybody from the chapter into the meeting, fill those seats, and make that happen.
And remember, if you're going to do all that activity, make sure you get credit for it. Just make sure the reports are in by 2 o'clock Central on Friday.
Thank you all for watching BNI Heartland Football. We look forward to seeing you one more time next week.
You know, I don't really know what we're going to do after next week. I have been living in the studio for the last 5 weeks.
That would explain the toothbrush and sleeping bag I see over there.